back is 1935.
Okay, before we bid farewell to the fair today, we're going to take a look at some old tractors. Say John Deere B, around 1939.
That was done over by Bernard Carter of Saranac.
Okay, Bernard Carter redid this little Super C. Not to be confused with the C, it's the Super C. You had H and Super H, M, Super M.
$1935.
Oh, we'll get that 35 when we go back that way. Yeah, we'll get this 45. This one's ready to go and do some work. Next up, a Model A, owned and restored by Mark Turner of Cumberland Head. And from that 52 Model A, we go to a 49 Farmall Cub, McCormick, International Harvester. And IH came out with their garden tractors. They call them the Cub Cadets. And now Cub Cadet is a separate division. And of course, IH has now become Case IH, being bought out by Case. And not quite ready for tarmac roads. This is a 1935 John Deere. Most farmers were still doing their entire farming with horses, and this tractor was in its heyday. It's got Giroux Brothers Incorporated on the side of it. We've been told it was owned by Rocky Giroux. And as you can see, it's been run. 1935 John Deere, not sure of the model. Nothing on it to indicate the model. It's got the iron wheels. Now we're going to go inside into the antique museum and see what we can find out in there. Okay, we are in the antique museum and we have a kitchen display set up. Looks like they're making pancakes over there. We have somebody who knows a little bit about this. Your name, sir?
Steve Flanagan.
Steve Flanagan. I just saw your wagon over there in the corner, Steve.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of my winter projects that I worked on.
About what era would you say this kitchen is?
Oh, it's probably a replica of about 1910.
That real bread?
It was at one time. It's probably about a week old now. Pancakes are burnt, but nobody wants to eat the pancakes, so we leave them there.
Let me see the old meat grinders, and of course some of those are still being used today.
Yeah, well, the lady of the house, I guess it looks like she's made a lot of sausage in her day, so she has a nice view going looking out the window. And also while she's pumping water out of a cistern pump.
Well, you didn't have to live in a 1910 kitchen to have that kind of a pump. did you, Steve?
No, I skipped that era.
Yeah, as I had a cistern pump when I was growing up.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Fortunately, we had a Myers piston pump.
you had to catch
But
those.
my relatives beforehand, they had those. So. And over here we have a living room, replica of probably about 1910. And some of the furniture was donated by Bushy's Furniture. And then we have...
When they talk about used furniture, I guess this is what they're dealing with?
Oh, that's it, yeah. Bushy's used furniture. And then we have a replica of a bedroom here. And a nice view out the window.
Yeah,
That was
you can
done
see
by Rain Signs.
You can see the outdoor pump there.
And you can see a huge farm in the distance. Somebody must have to be working over there. And those are the people that donated things here to make it more realistic.
Okay, is this a club that sets this up, Steve? Or?
No, just the primary owner that's got all the antiques in here, his name is Larry Bosley from Peru, New York.
Oh, I didn't
And
realize.
he has the bulk of the antiques in here. And I have the milk equipment. The other. These are all old woodworking tools and carpenter tools right here in this area. Then moving on up through, we got some tillage equipment, cultivators, potato shovels, things that were used to make good big gardens.
And photos to go with them, huh?
Yes.
Are those photos Larry's too?
Yes.
Lawrence Bosley's
Right,
too?
yes. They're all Larry's photos. They were taken out of old magazines that he has collected over the years.
He's awfully brave. He must have hope, or else he has duplicates. Cause
No duplicates. Those are it.
I wouldn't dare to leave my collection out with just.
And then we have the blacksmith's tools that they used back in those days. Hammers, drills, tools that I have never seen before myself. And then the old forge that they use. Then we move right into wintertime. Ice tools. Ice tongs, ice saws.
Just in a
Horse-drawn equipment, naturally, back in those days.
little sled to, what's that do?
That's to cut the squares of ice.
Just to start them?
Yes.
And you get
Yeah.
the saw down there?
And then you put the saw in and away it goes.
And it's milking equipment. This is yours?
This is milking equipment, yes.
Including the bottles?
Including the bottles. Most of the bottles up there are mine. I have a bigger collection than that at home, but I just brought up a few of them, that's all.
All of our local dairies represented?
Yes, 90% of them are local dairy bottles.
Where's your Sunny Hill? At home?
I've got one bottle, and I didn't bring that, and I have also one bottle with my father's name embossed on it, and I found that up on the other side of Malone, really. And this was his milk wagon, and there's a history of it right here on the right here.
Okay, it was built in Quebec in 1880. Purchased in 1915 by Stephen S. Flanagan to use as a milk delivery wagon. He owned and operated a dairy farm on Ruger Street and delivered milk and cream to customers in the city of Plattsburgh until 1928, when the wagon was retired for a more modern conveyance. The wagon has remained on the same Ruger Street farm. Mr. Flanagan's son, that being you,
Yes.
has partially restored it. The wheels restored by the Amish, the lettering by Rain's Signs. Would this happen to be your father in the picture?
That was my father. That was taken on the lower end of Ruger Street. in the city.
And if you want to call them, it's 9F6. That number's still good?
Was up until 1931. Then we went to the dial system, and that was it then. Yep. I put the old authentic number on at that time. Yeah, that was the old crank phone.
Yep. So did your father have a big area? He was Rosebud and these other guys dealing at the same time?
Rosebud came in around the 40s, and Bayview Dairy also. There was a lot of local dairies, local farmers that bottled their milk, but when pasteurization came into effect in the 40s, that's when my father got out of it then. He didn't expand that much.
It would have been an expense.
Yeah. And then your bigger dairies like Plattsburgh Dairy, Tri Gables Dairy, Rosebud, Bayview Dairy, and now they're all distinct now. They're gone.
They've all gone over the wayside too. What's this big, was this the milk can that they'd...
That was a big milk can that they had at the creamery, and used them in the creameries where they used it to dump milk into big vats. Then it was used to make cottage cheese. But they were soon passed because of the fact they went to the smaller cans with 12, 40 quarts, easier for one man to handle.
So did you have a dairy farm too, Steve?
Yes, I did up until 1972 when I got into construction business. Now I run beef.
Which hasn't been a good year for beef.
Terrible.
Good year if you're buying beef, not if you're selling
Not
it.
selling, no. One farmer was quoted from country folks. He said the price is so low that you need a submarine to find the price of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the guy who was raising them never seems to get the benefit when the price goes up, but when the price goes down, they get shocked first.
That's right.
Well, this is a sample of what you can see in the antique barn. Oh, I guess there's some old equipment here.
I don't know what that is. You probably operated one of those in your day.
I didn't operate them, but I used to be the whoa and giddy up guy.
Okay.
And that's for loose hay. That's got a bale.
That's right.
there.
Yeah. Well, a little cleaner and neater to have baled hay.
But yeah, when I was not too old, my job was to sit down below, and somebody would be there with the team, and they'd hook up these forks into a load of loose hay, and when it was positioned along the pulleys just where they want it, they'd holler out to me, whoa, and I'd relay the whoa, and they'd stop the horses.
That's right. Yeah.
It was a very important job for a 5-year-old.
Oh, I guess it was.
Also a very long, tiring job when you're 5 or 6 years old and you want to be out playing just to sit there. But
These are fanning mills down through here that's owned by Larry Bowlsley from Peru.
fanning mills?
Yes. Clean oats, grain.
Okay.
And then you have the corn shellers, which were either operated by hand or by a little one-horse pop motor there.
And they got a demonstration set up
over
there.
there is a yoke for oxen.
I guess they had the oxen pull yesterday. Did you take in the oxen pull?
No, I didn't take that in. No. And lo and behold, we do have a well right here. It's unbelievable, but we do have one, and I'll show you how it operates.
Oh, okay, we got water. Didn't have to prime that at all, Steve?
No, didn't have to prime it at all.
Because sometimes when the rubber's got a little dry, you'd have to pour a little water down the top, and
Children get a big charge out of doing it.
yeah, it's something that they've never witnessed, I'm sure.
Yeah,
All they're used to is that faucet.
which is very easy,
Yeah. Well, there's a brief tour of the Antique Farm and Home Museum, and hopefully you came and saw this for yourself. If not, it'll be here again next year. We want to thank Mr. Steve Flanagan for giving us this quick tour. And that's going to wrap up today's coverage here at the Clinton County Fair. Bill Liberty, master of all he surveys, says